I mean, that is really pulling the dust out of the air. Hi, it's Mark the Family Woodworker. I have a woodshop and a YouTube channel.
Well, duh.
But I like to watch other cool channels too, only to find that a few of them make it sound or make it appear like they have completely solved the sawdust problem in their shops.
You must be joking.
I mean, I already have a high volume collector with a 1 micron filter and a 1 micron secondary bag, another shop vac 2-stage system dedicated to my table saw. I also attached suction hoses to my bandsaw and my miter saw station, made a dust collection box that I could put next to my wood lathe, and I even used that 20-inch box fan trick to capture any errant dust when using other tools or when I'm hand sanding. To keep the dust out of my furnace, I even built a custom in-wall filter for my cold air return. That should do it, right? Even when you're done working in the shop for the day, the fine dust still flies around everywhere. So what's a poor average woodworker to do? If you can accept the fact that you're never going to capture all the dust from your various power tools, maybe it's best just to do your best and find additional ways to keep the shop surfaces and the air as clean as possible. I looked into ceiling mount dust scrubbers, but they were kind of pricey, and they work off the assumption that dust ignores the laws of gravity and always rises towards the ceiling. So I really want to design a quiet and skinny air cleaning solution, unlike my box fan, where I wind up throwing those filters away, and then be able to wash and reuse my filter stack. The whole thing should be portable enough and tall enough to stand next to whatever work surface or tool that I'm using, some places where my box fan won't go, and grab any airborne dust right from the source. I really want to use a quiet motor and fan with a high enough CFM rating to create an effective ambient vacuum, and it would be great if it didn't use a lot of power in the process. The core of my build will be based on this 6-inch speed-controlled duct fan from VEVOR, pulling 400 cubic feet per minute and only using 60 watts to do it. I'm also going to use these commonly available 6-inch shop vac canisters for my filter stack. But let's continue on with the build and talk about the dimensions and the materials as we go. With a double-thick base at 15 inches in diameter, it was time to cut up the planks for the motor housing. And a single piece of 2x4 foot Luan plywood will give me enough material for an octagon shape that fits the base. Since my goal is to have the actual filter material up at work table height, I'll cut the planks at 24 inches long to provide a higher platform for that filter stack. Once the planks were cut, I beveled all the edges to 22.5 degrees to give me that perfect octagon shape, but still narrow enough to fit the base into all those workshop nooks and crannies next to my tools and workbenches. Painter's tape is my favorite method for matching up and rolling up segmented pieces like this plywood octagon canister, and once the glue dried, it was easy enough to whip out the hand plane and then clean up those glue lines and sharp edges. A few minutes of 220 grit sanding later, and I thought some mahogany stain might class up the look of the base, though none of that was really necessary. Sometimes you just want your tools to be pretty. I did quite a bit of research into the type of fan or blower that I wanted, and this VEVOR 6-inch inline duct fan seemed to be the winner. It was under $50 for the motor, and a higher 400 cubic feet per minute flow rate was what I was looking for. Let's give it a first plug in and see how much noise it makes. I mean, that's pretty good at low speed. Wow. That's a lot. Best of all, it really seemed to be quiet given the volume of airflow. Feeling pretty good about the fan purchase, I needed to create a space under the fan for filtered air to exhaust out. So I added some 6-inch blocks on all sides of the octagon that would eventually support a platform for the fan. This was as simple as cutting out a 6-inch hole in the center of some plywood, and the tapered edges of the fan body would wind up fitting tightly into that cutout. The fan body platform had to be sanded and adjusted to fit, but I always like to make my videos look as if I know what I'm doing, so there, a perfect fit. Some caulk will seal up the edges and the inside platform is good to go. At first, I thought I would detach the cord completely from the motor and then build up my own switching system on the outside of the frame. But when I opened up that speed control module, it was a little more complicated than I thought, so I left that functionality in place. I'll leave the controller and that short length of cord alone, but then I'll need some sort of an extension cord so that I can move the collector around the shop. With the wires reattached, I moved on to the rolling base, where 5 pivoting caster wheels will help keep the base stable on the floor. On the inside of the canister, I still needed to secure the motor in place, so I fabricated a couple of L-shaped brackets, form fitted to the curvature of the 6-inch opening. I'll screw those brackets into the plywood walls and they'll sit firm up against the fan body, leaving the duct fan assembly pretty well locked in place. A center-mounted cross bracket made out of oak will serve as the anchor point for a threaded rod that'll extend up through the canister top and that'll hold all the filters in place. I did a quick test fit to make sure the filters fit the opening. Since the fan will be driving airflow downward, I need a series of vent holes for that filtered air to escape. Some geometry calculations were involved as the total area of all my smaller holes needed to be greater than the 28.5 square inches of area found in my 6-inch diameter duct fan. 32 smaller holes at 1¼ inch in diameter gives me about 39 inches of total area, bigger than the original 6-inch fan, and that'll eliminate any back pressure. I never figured I'd use high school geometry again, and oh happy day, I took up woodworking.
You're weird.
The benefit of testing everything before final assembly is that you have a pretty good idea it'll all go back together again a second time. And thanks to all those technical engineers who figured out cordless drill drivers, because I can't imagine doing all these screws by hand.
Stop whining.
My first attempt at stacking these shop vac filters was a challenge because the rubber rings really didn't want to stay aligned as I piled them up. So I found some extra wire mesh I had in the garage and made a tube that fit inside the filter diameter. It actually did a pretty great job holding all the filters in line. My filter kit came with a form-fitting cap, so I only really needed to drill in a hole for the threaded rod and then attach a wing nut to hold it all together. And with that done, it's off to some initial testing. Hand sanding first, perhaps the worst offender in the shop for creating dust that isn't easily gathered by any of my vacuum systems. I took some fine 220 grit paper and you can see that the red specks of dust are getting pulled into the filter. The filter tower sits at the right height next to my tabletops and tools to capture those finer dust particles, and it fits into tight spots in the shop where I can't set up that filtered box fan. Easily portable with those 3-inch casters, it rolls to wherever I need it to be. Compared to my high volume collector running at over 93 decibels, my filter tower comes in at slightly over 60 decibels, so it's much, much quieter. For an overall review, I really like how this little solution works. It's skinny, it doesn't take up a lot of space on the floor, and it fits into those tight spots near my power tools. And no more throwaway box fan filters either. I can toss these into the sink and spray them clean. The VEVOR duct fan was a pleasant surprise. Great airflow in a smaller package, really quiet operation, and not really all that expensive. It gets 4.5 out of 5 thumbs. Total cost for this project came in at just over $150, and I did get to use some materials that I had in the garage to finish the build. All in all, not too bad for a specialty dust collection solution to fit the specific needs of my shop. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. We don't ask for donations or membership fees. All our content is free, including project build plans on our website, so your thumbs up and a subscription to our channel helps us a lot. Take care.